Yeah, it's interesting. I obviously I grew up in the United Kingdom. I've been here in the United States since 1987. So that was right before my 21st birthday. And so now I'm 59 now. So I spent two-thirds of my life here, and I feel very blessed. I've had a good life. By all accounts, I was raised in a great family, but I come from somewhat humble beginnings. My dad left school at 14 and my mum at 16. So the idea of having a lawyer in the family was a very big deal. Just getting out, just going to college was a big deal, getting a university degree. But, so I watched my father, who was an entrepreneur, build businesses. Some worked, some didn't, Catherine. Some made money, and towards the end of his life, it really devastated him financially, and also his health was, declined. Um, but there was many times where I watched my father, go to work. He'd, every day come home. And he'd fall asleep on the couch, still wearing his, shirt and tie and a jacket. And I think that really, rubbed on me, that the idea of work ethic. But my parents, but I was also, a kid who went to school and got bullied a lot. I was a small kid. So I think at some point I realized, when it comes to life, you either have to fight, you have to fight back, or you take it on the chin and sit on the floor and cry about it. And I think I decided that I wasn't going to sit on the floor and cry about it, and when I reached, 11 years ago when I was pretty much broke. That's not fair. Not pretty much broke, was broke, right? And my father was in and out of hospital and I was sick, and I made a decision that, that I was going to build a business. I think that's when I realized really tapped into, you know, that internal drive. And I told my stepson this, I think when it comes to life and entrepreneurship and that drive, that will, I think to a certain extent, I think there's two factors that are involved in that.